Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video. Got an important announcement here to start things off. I've been having problems with Ask.fm. I would answer a question and then I would go to my profile page and the question and answer would be gone. This happened for several questions. I spent about 20-30 minutes and almost all the questions and answers were gone. They just disappeared. I waited a while. They didn't reappear. I never had this problem with FormSpring. So since FormSpring is still in existence, I have decided to go back to FormSpring. So from this point forward, if you want to submit questions, formspring.me/AaronRift is the place to go. And I lost a lot of questions. So if I have not answered one of your questions yet on the video or on the text Q&As, just go ahead and submit your question again, formspring.me/AaronRift. With that being said, let's get down to the questions that I am able to answer today. Alright, the first one comes from Patrick Cullen. Hey Aaron, John Cena seems to be getting a lot more hate from fans. It's no longer a mixed reaction but more of a negative one. Do you think John taking extended leave of absence and then returning would help him get a more positive reaction, possibly making his character a little bit stale when he returns? I definitely think it would help if John Cena would take a break and come back. I mean, characters do get stale, and the thing is, WWE relies on John Cena as their top guy. He's the flagship of WWE. He's the franchise player, and I just don't see John Cena voluntarily walking away. I think that there's just too much money to be made, and John Cena loves what he does, and he is getting up there. He just turned 36, and at some point he's going to need to take a break. I mean, there's only so much the human body can take. John Cena, despite his on-character persona, is not Superman. So he's going to need to take a rest at some point, and it is a good thing for him to be away from the spotlight for a while and recharge his batteries and let his body heal up, and it gives the fans a break. So, I mean, it's a positive, it's a win-win situation for John Cena and the fans, but obviously WWE doesn't want him gone under any circumstances, and they want him to keep working, and he's their cash cow. But yeah, I mean, I do think it would help. I don't think it would eliminate the boos. John Cena could leave for a while and then come back, and there'll still be the mixed reactions. But it would be a nice break to have him gone and give some of the other guys on the roster a chance to rise up and go for that top spot. So I mean, I think it would be a positive, but WWE I don't think is going to let him just walk away. I think the only way that John Cena's taking a break is if he gets seriously hurt. Alright, this next one comes from Clayton Blum. Aaron, I agree with you that the Shield does not need a fourth member. Wrestling member, that is. I feel that they could use a manager in the group, someone to get them focus them on getting the belts. Could you imagine if they could bring back somebody like Jim Cornette or Arn Anderson as a manager? Honestly, I don't think either of them would fit in with the Shield. The Shield is doing great as they are, and I don't think they need a fourth member, and to be honest with you, I don't think that they need a mouthpiece or a manager. What WWE is doing with them right now is working, so no need to fix something that's not broken. The Shield's doing just fine. You mentioned Jim Cornette here. I wouldn't mind seeing Jim Cornette come back and manage somebody else, or even bring back Arn Anderson to manage somebody else. I mean, I would be down with that, and I do think WWE could benefit from bringing back managers, but not in this case with the Shield. I think you should just leave the Shield as they are, the three guys, and let them do what they're doing. It's working. Why change it? Hi Aaron, Stone Cold recently said he would come back for one more match if the price was right. If he did come back, CM Punk would be the guy, hopefully not Cena. How would you book it? I thought Stone Cold could make a surprise entrance at the Rumble, eliminating CM Punk and starting the feud. Your thoughts? And this is from Dan. I'm not so sure I would bring back Steve Austin before WrestleMania. I think that there's a novelty there. There's the anticipation, fans wanting to see how Stone Cold would do after being gone for so long. So I think it would be more special to just have him come back for one more match at WrestleMania and not do anything else. But then again, you look at The Rock. The Rock came back at Survivor Series and had his first match back before WrestleMania 28. And WrestleMania 28 did this huge number, and it was a huge success. So I think you could still make it work. You bring back Steve Austin at the Royal Rumble and then have him at WrestleMania. I mean, that could work. The other thing, though, is that if you're going to bring back Stone Cold and have him wrestle, I don't know if it's a good idea to have him come back as a surprise. I think that that's a wasted opportunity to use his name to get more people buying the pay-per-view. If you're going to have Steve Austin at the Royal Rumble, I think it would be best to actually announce him in advance, and that way you can increase the pay-per-view buy for the Royal Rumble. I think that would be a better business decision, although it would be a nice surprise to have him return out of nowhere. But I think WWE is a business. If they were going to bring him back at the Rumble, they would bring him back, with some hype behind it and some build-up. All right, this one comes from Eric Fitzgerald. Hey Aaron, always watch the NoDQ&A videos every week. Anyway, my question is, do you think WWE will have a popular, legendary stable like Legacy, DX, or the NWO face the Shield at WrestleMania 30, considering their hot win streak and because there's no three-man stables from this era that can beat them? That is an interesting idea for WrestleMania. The thing is, though, the Shield, I don't know if it's a good idea to keep dragging this faction out. WrestleMania 30 is still a year away. And I think at some point, you're going to want to split up the Shield and have them go their own ways and build them up as single stars. I don't know if I want to see the Shield last another year. I think that could get stale and it would just be going on for too long. But if the Shield does stick around for the next year and they have a big blow-off match at WrestleMania 30 and that's the end of the Shield, it would be cool to see maybe DX reform to take them on, or maybe bring back Evolution, like Triple H and Batista and Randy Orton, put them together against the Shield. I mean, that would be a really cool match. And you could always do something like that at SummerSlam, too. Here we go. Everyone's always saying, you always like to talk about doing stuff at SummerSlam because you're going there. But, SummerSlam is one of the big pay-per-views of the year, and I think that would be huge for SummerSlam to do a match like that. And I think that that's a better idea in terms of, breaking up the Shield at SummerSlam and not dragging it out a whole nother year. I think that would be the best way to go, actually. All right, this one comes from Danny Rubio. How do you feel about TNA taping pay-per-views, and do you think they can live up to WWE's pay-per-views? Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea at all. I understand why TNA is doing it. It's because of budget reasons, and they're doing it as a cost-cutting measure, but there's just no interest in a taped pay-per-view. I don't think that anybody's going to buy these pay-per-views. And when I say anybody, I mean anybody, any kind of significant number. I mean, you might have 5,000 or 6,000 people that will buy a taped pay-per-view, but, so much time has passed between when the pay-per-views were taped and when they air. I just don't think it's going to work. And to be honest, there isn't a lot of buzz about TNA right now. And, somebody who runs a website, people aren't really interested in TNA. The traffic is down, and I used to get traffic increases when there'd be a TNA pay-per-view, and there'd be people coming to the site wanting to know what's going on in TNA, and there's just nothing right now. I mean, there's no talk about TNA, and it's hurting my business. No TNA pay-per-views, every month, or live pay-per-views. So I'm hoping at some point TNA will go back to the live pay-per-view format, and TNA tried doing like a big edition of Impact, a pay-per-view like edition with Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy in the TLC match, and it didn't even do that good of a rating. So I hope TNA brings back the live pay-per-view format, and I think it can work. TNA had some momentum several years ago where every month they had a really good pay-per-view, but yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate that it's come down to this. I think it's hurting their business and hurting the buzz about TNA when there's no monthly pay-per-view. All right, this last one today comes from James Dukin. Do you think that there's any legitimacy to the rumors of Zack Ryder turning heel? If so, how do you think WWE will book this? Well, I think the only way you can salvage Zack Ryder at this point is to turn him heel, and what I would do, I would have Zack Ryder come out and just attack John Cena and do a CM Punk style promo, a pipe bomb or whatever, and just tell it like it is. Say that, he did everything to be unique and different, and WWE crapped on him, and they held him back, and he's not going to take it anymore. He's going to take matters into his own hands, and he's tired of doing the stupid gimmick, and, people are going to take Zack Ryder more seriously from this point forward. That's the kind of promo I would have him do. Have him come out there and just drop the whole whatever he does, the Guido gimmick from Long Island or whatever, and just let him be a serious heel. And I think that would be a good way to get him back in the mix and give him a fresh start. To be honest, I don't think WWE is going to do that. I don't know if Zack Ryder's ever going to get the kind of push that he got, even though it was not much of a push at all. But yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate that things have gotten this bad for Zack Ryder when just 2 years ago, he was the hottest thing in the wrestling world. All right, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Don't forget, as I mentioned at the beginning, going back to Formspring, everything's going back to normal, back to the old theme music, back to Formspring. Sometimes you got to stick with the old thing. So formspring.me/Aaron Rift, and keep subscribing, keep spreading the word, trying to reach 30,000 subscribers by June 1st. So tell a friend on Facebook or Twitter, or tell anybody you know that watches wrestling, have them check out No DQ&A video. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time.